Once upon a time, there was this little goat, and her name was Poochy. And she lived in this tiny little room. And one night it stormed, and Poochy was scared. Benny came in and said, "Hey!" Poochy got scared. Yeah, and Poochy got scared. So when Poochy got scared, she ran off when she did. She ran right into Benny's butt. "Oh no," said Poochy. Benny said, "Why did you run into Nobby?" I didn't mean to," answered Poochy. "But Nobby's hurt now," said Benny, as he went into Graceland's room. "Oh, so, okay, good night," said Poochy as the storm thundered. Poochy got scared. Yeah, Poochy got very scared. And when she did, she slept. She fell asleep. And all of a sudden, she heard somebody walking into the hallway. And then all of a sudden, it jumped out. "Boo!" Aiden said, as Poochy jumped. She got really scared. "Why did you do that, Aiden?" said Poochy. "Oh, I just wanted to creep you out," said Aiden. "Sorry to creep you out on a stormy night, but I have a scary story to tell you and Benny." "What is it?" said Benny. "Nobby might get too scared. I'm too scared." I don't like scary stories," said Benny. "Well, I like scary stories. Tell us, Aiden." Benny looked out the window. "It's too scary and stormy and the power's out. I don't want to listen." "Please listen, Benny. Oh, I know you're scared of scary stories, but please listen." "Fine," said Benny. "I'll come listen." And Aiden began the story as Benny and Poochy listened to the scary, spooky story. "Once upon a time," said Aiden as he told Poochy the scary, spooky story, "there was a goat, and nobody knew her name, but she was out in this very neighborhood. She was sleeping in one of the houses nearby." "When was this?" asked Poochy. "Well," said Aiden, "nobody knows, but it was a long time ago." "But anyways," said Aiden, "this is what happened. The story. Well, a goat was sleeping in one of the houses beside of us." "Oh," Poochy was scared. "Nobby's getting scared," Benny cried. Aiden was laughing at Benny. "Oh, that's so funny, Benny." "I'm just telling you a scary story." Benny listened. But, it might be scary." "Well, that's what scary stories are about. Let's finish the story," said Poochy. And Aiden kept telling him the story. And then the goat was very happy. She had power. Was it electric? I'm not sure. But the goat, was it electric, said Poochy. "Well, I'm not sure," said Aiden. "But all I know was it was a long time ago. And this is what happened." Now let me continue. So they were this goat. The power went out. And somebody came in the house. Nobody knew who it was. And nobody heard or seen from the goat again. The end. Poochy was scared as she tried to fall asleep, but she really couldn't because of the scary story Aiden had told. Benny was about to poop his pants, I think.
Yeah, Nobby was about to poop his pants. Wait, let me rethink that.
Poochy couldn't help but think of the scary story that happened.
Truly, I wasn't really scared of it.
I'm sure it was just fake, said Benny. But what if it really wasn't? Said Poochy.
Well, if I'm not scared, then the story isn't really scary. Nubby, do you think so?
Benny just stood there thinking Nubby would answer him. Benny, are you crazy? Nubby isn't going to answer you. By the way, he doesn't have a name. Your Nub isn't going to answer you, said Poochy.
Same thing about you.
That story isn't just going to come alive to you, Poochy, said Benny.
Good night.
Good night, Benny. Please don't leave me. Just leave your door open. Why do you need the door open? Just because of that scary story? Close your blinds then if you don't want anybody to see you. Just go away, Benny. I'm going to go get tired, said Poochy. She tried falling asleep, but she couldn't. Finally, after 2 hours, Poochy finally fell asleep. But then, at 2 o'clock in the morning, she woke up. She looked up and everything was pitch black. She was scared. Hello? She cried. Is somebody there? Nobody was there. She looked out the window. It was complete darkness. The porch light wasn't on anymore. And as she got up, she saw a shadow. The story was true, she shouted. She called for Benny, but Benny didn't answer. She went into his room then to investigate. Hey, Benny, where are you? All she saw was a shadow. She went right past it. Somehow the shadow got inside her house. She turned as she looked inside Benny's room. Benny wasn't there! Then she turned around and the shadow wasn't there anymore, which she hadn't seen before. She's like, oh no, I'm alone now. She called for Aiden. Aiden! But Aiden didn't answer. She ran to his room, and he wasn't there. His blankets were there. His bed was a mess like he had been sleeping there. And his stuffed animals were all over the floor like he had been playing. But Aiden wasn't there. Period. Poochy ran into the kitchen. Nope, he wasn't there. Neither one of them. She ran into the bedroom. Nobody was there. She was getting kind of scared. What's happening? Then she saw the shadow go across her. She didn't notice it though. She just thought it was her shadow. Poochy got on Aiden's bed and she tried to fall asleep. But she was about to fall asleep and she heard footsteps. And then she looked up and the shadow was in front of her. Poochy got up and she screamed. Ah! And the shadow tried to catch her, but it couldn't catch her. Poochy was too fast. She said, no! And all of a sudden she tripped and fell. And then the shadow grabbed her. Oh, she said. Then the shadow began to take its clothes off. There were two shadows, actually. One looked like a goat and the other looked like a person. It took its clothes off. Hey, Poochy. Aiden, said Poochy. Is that really you? Aiden said, yep. It was me the whole time. And me, said Benny as he took his clothes off. As he didn't have to take anything off because he was already black. You guys tricked me, said Poochy. Silly! Poochy didn't want them to do this anymore, but she still had a good old time. Aiden, please don't tell me another scary story for a very long time. Okay? Okay, said Aiden. The end.